my name's Tyler, and I'm gonna go on this winter camping trip, and so we're gonna give you a step-by-step thing of what we're going to experience, what we're gonna try and achieve, and how we're gonna go about it. In the beginning, we're gonna go through all the equipment that we're gonna go through. We're gonna go get some food. The reason we're going on this winter camping expedition is because more often than not we did summer camping. We've done a bunch of camping. I went camping a bunch as a kid, and it's always been super like simple and not like super demanding because you just set your tent up. You don't have to worry about rain. You don't normally go when the weather's really demanding. We're gonna have to make sure we stay warm while we're sleeping. So we're gonna need the proper equipment. We're gonna have some pretty dense sleeping bags. We're gonna fill the sleeping bags with blankets, and we're probably gonna wear some pretty thick clothing. We're gonna try and set up a tarp over it because it's supposed to snow while we're sleeping, and we don't want our tent covered in snow. But I love camping, so we're really gonna try and achieve some difficulty camping while still enjoying that experience of camping. We're at Josh No Frills. We're gonna go pick up some food for our camping trip, and we'll show you what we get after we're done. So this is the food that we'll be bringing on our camping trip. We've got some potatoes and breakfast sausages that we're going to aluminum foil wrap them on our fire, and just to cook them. It's super easy, just chuck them in and they're cooked. In case we don't get a fire started, because you can't always guarantee a fire, we've got some chewy, some spits. We'll bring some bananas. We've got some juice just because it's a luxury. Super easy, one container. We'll probably just sip straight from it. We won't bring any cups to garbage. Yeah. Okay, so this is all most of the gear that we're going to be using for the camping trip. We've got some sleeping bags. These sleeping bags are a little thicker for the winter. They have some temperature ratings, so they'll see how much the temperature is inside the sleeping bag, so it'll keep us a little warm. This one in particular says it's 5 degrees warmer than the normal thing, and we'll also put some blankets inside of it, keep us warm. These are like Walmart sleeping bags. Then we've got some sleeping mats, just so we don't have to sleep on the ground. It won't be as harsh on our backs, and it insulates it just a little bit. We've got 2 tarps. One will go under the tent, and the other one will go above it in case it's snowing, or most likely will be snowing, so we'll put it over. Rope for the tarps. This is our huge tent. It's pretty big. It sits like 6 people. There's only 2 people of us in there. We've got some thick clothing gear. We've got some winter boots, toque, mitts, flashlights, heavy winter coats. We've got some rechargeable batteries for our phones and anything if we need it, because we're only taking what we are to this camping trip. We're not going to go hit a store in the middle of the way or anything. So we're going to see if we bring everything we need to bring. So right now it's currently snowing pretty harsh, and with all the road conditions going on and our plan going out to Crownsland and Kananaskis area, we're not going to be able to go out because of the vehicle. It's too harsh. We won't be able to go, especially with Crownsland, because with Crownland camping you have to leave a road at least 1 kilometer off, so that's complete just off-roading, and our vehicle is not set up for that. So we're most likely just going to route our way into Colin's backyard and set up a tent there, just do like a dry run almost. It's super important when you're going camping that you check road conditions and making sure you're allowed to go camping where you're going. Like for us, we had to do a bunch of research on Crownland for Crownland camping, because there's certain areas that are licensed and other areas where you don't have to get a license or whatever, but you're not allowed to have fires. So just the research helps making sure you stay safe and you don't break the law. And so this is kind of the area that we're going to be doing our camping in. It's kind of the same sort of general idea when it comes to camping. We'll have our grass area. We're not going to use any of this area, so our tent's going to be set up over there. We're going to bring out a portable fireplace and set it up over by the grass area. So this ground is going to be very similar to what we'd be doing camping, this whole area, but it's a lot safer because it's right next to where we live and everything. So it's just a much easier first run to make sure that we don't get hurt or get sick or anything while we're out here. It's going to get a lot worse. The snow's going to continue until tomorrow morning, so it's gonna be like this. It's just only gonna get worse, so we gotta prepare ourselves. Alright, so we're about to head out. Once we head out, we're not gonna come back in for anything. But this is how I'm gonna go dressed. I've got my winter boots. I've got a hoodie under this jacket, a toque, and some pretty heavy duty gloves. This is all I'm taking, and we're hoping for the best that it's gonna be enough. And we'll see if I'm correct or not. So right now, we're just shoveling the ground. That way it won't get wet when it's sleeping, or we're putting a tent on top of it. Make things a little easier for us. Also put a tarp under the tent. Cold. It's goddamn cold. It's pretty cold. But we have our things set up. Got our flat blankets, our sleeping bags on top of the mats, which are on the blanket, and more blankets on top of them to insulate them. It's a pretty spacious tent, and I'm hungry. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Much better, buddy. That is just not worthy. Okay, so up to now it's been a little rough, not gonna lie. Setting up the tent, it's a really big tent, so it was kind of pain to set up. With the gloves I had, they're pretty thick, so when you're trying to get spokes into these little pegs, it's really hard and you're trying to push everything through. And with all the snow falling down, it's really a race against the clock because if too much snow gets in here, the ground's freezing cold, so we had to cover it with blankets right now. And if we stepped just on the normal tent bottom, even with the tarp under it to like help insulate it a little bit, it does nothing. It's just too cold. We're trying to keep it tidy, so we have to keep our shoes off in here. Oh, yeah. Yes, this is our bed setup right now. We have 2 sleeping bags, 2 sleeping mats, and then we topped the sleeping bags with about 4 blankets just to insulate them, keep them warm. We have a couple pillows to lay on, and we also have a blanket underneath everything just to help some cushioning. But as you can see, it's pretty spacious everywhere else. It's not much else, just the blankets. Okay, so as I said previously with how it's a race against the clock, when we're setting up the tent, we can't put the tarp over it first. So this is all mesh, and it was getting snowed on, and then we trapped some of the snow that was on it with the tarp over it, and then there's another tarp over it. And so now it's all starting to melt. We brushed it off once we noticed it, but it was dripping and it's really leaking right above in the top middle. Like it's drenched right there. So we're gonna have to wait it out and see how bad it gets and how bad it melts. But so far it's only doing a little bit, and we brushed a bunch, so hopefully we don't get drenched out. So we got this little generator. Right now it carries about 1,000 amps. It also comes with an LED light. Oh, if I can push it. pretty bright. Some USBs to help us charge some stuff. It's also got like a car battery charger, a air pump for pressure for your tires and everything. Super handy, so we're gonna try and test it out tonight. So it's been about 45 minutes now. We've just been sitting in this tent. We played some music. We had a granola bar and everything. We had to put on our second pair of socks. It's pretty cold, but it's not unbearable. The dripping's not bad yet. I think our major problem right now is it's just too dark. We didn't bring enough lighting. We're using this flashlight and that one LED from that generator we have, but these two flashlights and the generator is nowhere near the amount of light that we need, especially with the size of the tent and everything. So it's been about 2 hours since we've started sitting in the tents. We're just watching some shows that we have downloaded on this laptop, killing time. The dripping's not as bad as it was previously. Luckily it's keeping warm. Almost the snow's actually melted, so it means it's warm enough in here. We put some blankets on us, we're keeping warm. Our toes aren't bad anymore. We've just been munching on some spits, chilling. But overall, it's not a bad situation right now. Okay, so it's about 3 hours into this, and we're getting a little hungry, so we're gonna try and start a fire. We're gonna go out, but right now we're just prepping for the cold because while we're setting the fire, it's gonna be no insulation. And it's still snowing out there, and we're gonna be really cold, so we gotta try and do this as fast as possible. So we're just mentally preparing right now. Alright, so we've got fire going. It took a little while, a couple fire starters. We learned that you cut the wood really small when you're trying to start the fire. Obviously it lights a lot easier, and you just work your way up by to keep it consistent, because this took about 45 minutes to get going. We had to cut the wood constantly into small pieces, keep it going by keeping it pretty steady. Now it's actually pretty big. We wrapped our potatoes up, so there's 2 potatoes per thing, so we got 3 of these. And we made a little tray with our sausages. We're going to throw the potatoes in first, because they'll take longer to cook. And then when we're feeling like the potatoes should be closer to done, we'll test one of the things, and then we'll throw these on, because they won't take as long. Okay. Just throw them in. So right now my toes, they're pretty cold. Put on my extra pair of socks, but they're just not doing it. So I definitely, if we were to ever do this again, recommend warmer socks. Maybe a couple thick pairs. Just doing this, I got the nice boots on. They're helping a little bit, and the fire's helping keeping them close. Slowly melting the snow around it. Oh. But overall, besides my toes, I'm actually not that cold anymore. It's not like a body cold, it's definitely just the toes going right now. My hands are pretty good, the gloves are going well. This fire's helping a lot though. So this is our tarp right now. It's completely covered. And this is why we really got our tarp, double tarp right now, because of this. And then we have stuff like, and it's brutal. You can see it's collecting right at the bottom of our tent because it's so busy right now. But, oh. Juice up. No, it's not really that hot. So it's about 9 o'clock now. We just finished eating and everything. The food was good. It actually turned out pretty well for what it was. Although I would say overall, we didn't bring enough food because you're burning calories, trying to stay warm. You're cutting wood, you're moving around, constantly coming in and out of the tent and everything. It's just, it sustained us, but in the future I would definitely bring more as well. It's a lot colder because you were by the fire originally, but now we're in here and the fire's all gone. So we're just huddling in this tent. It's pretty cold now. I got a little shiver. So we'll probably have to bunker down under some blankets. My back's hurting a little bit because we're trying to keep the doors as closed as possible. So when we only open it a little bit, you really gotta duck down and crawl into it. But yeah, that's overall. Just drinking some juice and trying to get by. So it's getting pretty late now. We're just finishing up. We're probably gonna head to bed real soon. But just a quick update, we've realized that, so we've been knocking the snow off of the front of the tent, but we haven't really done it to the sides of the tent. So there's one right here, one right above over there, and the snow has been collecting a lot, so there's this huge bulge down that we're gonna have to knock off before we go to bed or it's gonna collapse on us. It's really cold, like brutally cold. Like when you're under the blankets, it's not as bad, but like my hands are freezing and I'm super tired and drained. My back is aching crazily. It's getting a little rough out here, but we'll probably bundle up real tight for the night and hopefully wake up early in the morning and get through this. So we woke up pretty early today. Really early. It just got too cold and it was kind of unbearable, so we came in here, warmed up, and now we're gonna go take down the stuff. The snow completely trashed the tent. Our tarp fell off a little bit in the back, but luckily no snow got in the tent, but it was definitely too cold. Like, we didn't bring enough stuff for it. It was definitely a learning experience. We were underprepared. Like, take off the tarp. You want to open the door? Chuck it over to you, and we'll do this one.